I'd like to welcome you to another weekly installment of What If Wednesday, where every Wednesday morning I post a video going through last week's investing and collecting questions, where we just talk it out. Not saying I know everything, but when I'm unsure of something, I always like to get a few other people's opinions so I can make my final decision. And if you have any questions, please drop them down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And one person's question is actually featured on the thumbnail every single week. But before we get started, I just want to thank you guys so much for all the support, all the likes and comments and everything. It really means a ton. So if you guys do like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and please leave a like. And just know if you do comment, I comment back to every single person. I feel like it's the least I can do. Even if my views quadruple from here, I'm still going to do that. You can also join my membership. It's only 99 cents a month. I post a bunch of, card news and when I see good deals and stuff like that there. You can also check out my eBay store. We got 100% positive feedback with over 20,000 cards sold. And I also have an Instagram that I just started showing off my collection. And I'm also going to Card Party. So let me know down below if anybody is going to Card Party. I'd love to meet you. But all right, let's get to the first question. We got like 20 of them today. Now, this is the question that's on the thumbnail. It's from MoneyGarg3771. Say I have $50 to invest in Pokemon. Do you think this is enough? What would you recommend to invest in? Now, honestly, if you can save up to $100, I would get that booster box. But I know a ton of people, you just can't afford that, or maybe they're not good at saving, or, whatever it is. I mean, try to be realistic here. There are a lot of good options still. Sleeve boosters, like we're on the Pokemon Center website right now. You can still get Fusion Strike. You can get the triple pack. You can get the build and battle box, which, I recommend getting stuff like the booster bundles, a little more than the build and battle boxes. And then right here, we got the Pokemon Center Fusion Strike Elite Trainer box. No promos in this, but this is the one that comes with the extra packs. So honestly, all great options for $50 or less. You can also invest in, some modern PSA 10 cards, stuff like that. You can really try some stuff. You can buy some bulk of a really popular card that's only a couple dollars, and hopefully that takes off. You just never really know. Next question is from Gecko Sala Plancha 8286. I bought 5 PSA 10 Celebration Charizards for $220 each. Should I sell my Charizards and buy booster boxes? Where would I get my maximum profit? That's pretty rough because right now the Charizard is selling for, one just sold for $160. So, I mean, if you want to sell right now and take a loss, you definitely could and maybe invest in, I don't know, maybe some Silver Tempest booster boxes, some Japanese 151. I mean, even English 151, I think, is going to do really good. Same with Crown Zenith. I think that'll do very well down the road. But again, I do think this card will go up a little bit more. Like, we just haven't gotten there yet. Alt arts are going crazy. This really hasn't had a huge jump. So you could wait a little bit longer, and hopefully it'll get over that 220 to where you didn't really lose money. But yeah, you definitely got options. It's just depends on, what you want to do. Especially you got 5, you could always, sell 3 of them and buy a couple booster boxes or whatever it is. And then a lot of the other Sword and Shield booster boxes are just kind of hanging around now. They're not going super crazy. So you do have a couple options left for Sword and Shield booster boxes too. So, all right, next question is from Piggy Spy 13. If you decided that you wanted to make some money flipping singles and not holding them long term, how would you go about doing so? So I do this all the time. I buy big Pokemon lots on eBay, and there are so many things you can do with this. So when you get a big lot like this, you can grade all the cards that you think are PSA 10s, and then you can just start selling them individually. And I think it's a good idea to do that to build up your seller reputation. That is very important. So like this lot right here, there's 40 bids, 9 hours, 9 minutes. It is brutal on eBay sometimes, especially for these auctions. So I also like to do buy it now, newly listed. I check that multiple times a day just to, hopefully catch a new lot that somebody hasn't seen. You got to be quick. You just got to buy it right away when you see it. You just kind of got to know. But like this lot here, let's check it out. Good amount of Scarlet and Violet cards. There's a base set Mewtwo. Not seeing anything super valuable. Yeah, you just kind of want to go through. And you can always count the cards too. Like this is 252 cards. If you look through and every card is like a hit, like let's say at least a baby shiny or, not just like a basic ultra rare V, you can kind of add it up like that. So let's say if they're all minimum worth $1, it's worth at least 252. And then you can, get in there and really start counting out the big guys. And it's super easy, and you can do it quick to kind of figure out what the lot is worth, so you don't have to sit there and look up every individual price, because a lot of these cards, the prices are what you think it is, So yeah, I love buying lots, and I think it's great for collections too. Like when I'm collecting something, so like right now I collect, illustration rares and special illustration rares. So if I bought this lot and there were any cards that I didn't have, they're now mine and I'm selling the rest. So I basically got those cards for my collection for free. That's honestly what I've been doing my entire life for Pokemon. So I've gotten most of my cards technically for free because I've just been buying and selling lots. And, like I got a first edition Holo Lugia from Neo Genesis in a lot. And the lot was like $140. I sold the rest of the cards. Like, it was crazy. That was way back in the day, like 2000, I don't know, 15 or something like that. But yeah, lots are the best way for honestly anything. It's the best way to get the most amount of cards for the cheapest. And a lot of people don't grade their cards. A lot of people are scared to grade their cards and stuff like that, especially people who have big binders like this. So next, at Dice Diener, if you want to start a business for Pokemon and other TCG eventually, how would you start? Assume $500 is the starting capital. So if you're just trying to like make some money quick to like actually be able to do something with, buying lots, like I said, no joke, I bought a lot last year where almost every single card graded in a PSA 10. It was super crazy. I think only 3 of them didn't on like 120 card submission. It was wild. Of course I picked out the few ones that I knew wouldn't get 10s, but it was crazy how clean these cards were. So you can definitely make a ton of money doing that. Otherwise, I recommend watching, I think it's PokeNE. He really does like the business side of Pokemon and TCG and stuff like that. So definitely check him out. Next question is from user ZL4DF4HM9J. How do you feel about buying Hidden Fates ETBs right now? Honestly, I like it. So the price is not too bad. And then this is on eBay sold. So someone got one right here for $150. Someone got one right here for, a little over $130. Let's check these pictures. See if it's damaged at all. Not the best looking corners, but still not terrible. Not the best, but still not bad at all. And I mean, for the price, and that was an auction. It just shows not that many people right now are doing that, but I love it. I have 2 of these. I would love to get a bunch more. I think it's one of the best looking ETBs, and the stained glass promo is super underrated. And Hidden Fates is the best shiny set. So next question is from Dr. Koo2FL. What do you think about the $400 TCG collection box on Pokemon Center? If you can get it for cheaper, is it a good investment? Well, definitely do not buy it from the Pokemon Center. On the secondary market, it's like $280 here. Let's see what we can get it shipped for from TCG Player right here. Good seller right here, 100% positive feedback, $280. Now you got to think, this box is pretty cool. I just think the $400 price tag completely ruined this box. I feel like if it was at $300, people would have thought about it, but I felt like the perfect price would have been like maybe $200 or $250. But this thing, if you haven't seen it in person, it's way bigger than you think. Like way bigger than you think. And I do think these are some of the best reprints we've ever gotten. I've been stocking up on some of the cards inside. It's a super cool box and the most expensive Pokemon box they've ever made. So I do think down the road it will do good. So I feel like if you can find it for a good deal, I would possibly pick one up. I'd like to get it for more like around $200, but I think it's a super cool box. It's massive, and I just like the whole idea of it. It was just, it's overpriced, but it is very nice quality. I have seen it. I've seen somebody open it right next to me, and it was super, super nice. So yeah, I would just, keep looking, try to get it for a good deal. Next is from James Bleach. If you had a 100% master set of an X and Y Sun and Moon era set, would you split it and sell the top hitters and then the rest as bulk, or would you keep complete and try to find the right buyer? Asking because I am currently debating this with my Cosmic Eclipse set. Super good question. So what I like to do is, add up all the cards individually, find out what that price is, and then add a premium to that, put it in a nice looking binder. There's not one master set right now of Cosmic Eclipse on eBay, so you can kind of set your price right now. So yeah, add it all up, add a premium, definitely try to sell it as a collection. It's going to be so much easier. And then like, let's say you lower it a little bit, it doesn't sell, lower it a little bit, doesn't sell, to where it's getting close to the price of you selling it individually. I'd still even try to sell it as a set even then, because it's going to be a headache selling individually. And also, if you do have any PSA 10 potential, especially for those more expensive tag team cards, definitely suggest maybe getting a couple of those graded, because if they do hit, you're talking a lot more money. But definitely worth a try. And you could always, let's say if it doesn't work out, you don't get the 10, or you say you get an 8, you can always just crack the slab and put it back in the binder, stuff like that. So yeah, I've done both ways, and it's definitely easier to sell the whole master set. It does take a little bit of time though. But like I said, there's not even one on eBay at all, so you would have a lot of eyes on it. All right, the next question is from Tranquility Sounds. Is Crown Zenith going to be next to explode? Looks like the top 4 cards are going crazy. Much appreciated. Now, Crown Zenith had a massive, massive reprint, so I don't think the sealed is going to like go super, super crazy. But I could see the ETBs like jumping up to like $50, $60, maybe even $70. But it's going to take a little bit longer. And the cards also themselves, like, they're super nice cards. Some of the best cards we've ever gotten. One of the funnest sets ever. But the pull rates are pretty easy, so they're not like super, super rare, to where the cards can only get so expensive before people are just going to start opening the product, especially because it has such good pull rates. So everything's kind of got a cap, but we'll check here. Even like the top 4 cards here, the Mewtwo's doing good. The Arceus, the Giratina's over $100 raw card. It was before too. That's the funny thing too. Everybody thinks these prices are crazy, but you got to remember, these cards were all this expensive when this set came out. Mewtwo was over $100 for a while. So we're still not even back to where we were. And this was actually way after the boom when Crown Zenith came out, as the last Sword and Shield set. So Suicune, man, I wish I had more Suicunes. Don't even get me started on that. So yeah, I do think Crown Zenith is going to do good. Next question is from TSLA Gambling. What is your opinion on the Charizard UPC? I have a sealed case, primarily because the quality of the box itself, the promos, and the pack selection. Now, I love the Charizard UPC. I've been saying it for a while also. Can't beat the pack selection. The promos are top tier. It's a super, super good box. Now, they did print a lot of them, but they print a lot of everything in Pokemon. It's just that these are bigger too. I don't know. I don't think they printed nearly as many of these as they did, booster boxes or ETBs. I could be wrong on that, but this was $105 a couple months ago. Last sold $130, $130, $139. So one of the most expensive I think it's ever been since pre-release. This box was very expensive during pre-release, but when it first came out, super, super good box. So I would just keep holding on to it. Yeah, I think I have like 5 of these. I honestly wish I had more. It's a super, super good box. Next question is from Mangaman. Do you think that Twilight Masquerade is a set worth investing into, whether you play or collect? Now, Twilight Masquerade as like a whole isn't a bad set, but in the Scarlet and Violet era, I think it is definitely one of the weaker sets. Especially we didn't even get the Loyal 3 in this set. That got pushed to the next set. These are some of the sold prices on eBay. Someone got 2 of the Twilight Masquerade 3 packs for $21.45. That's a pretty good deal. Got the ETB and booster box for $137. Now, I don't think it's going to do super good. Honestly, I feel like, it will move. It's just going to take a while. Like, no joke, years before this set really, really moves. The Greninja is great. I like it. Some people don't. And I do not like the Ogerpon SIRs. I seen one in person. It's 15% better in person, but still, I'm not a fan. I actually like the other Terra cards better. So yeah, I don't know. There's just much better sets. Paldea Evolved, Paradox Rift, Scarlet and Violet base set, even Temporal Forces, Paldean Fates. Like, we got some really, really good sets so far in the Scarlet and Violet era. And don't forget about 151. So yeah, it does not hurt to get a couple booster boxes, couple ETBs, whatever you want, maybe the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box, but just, don't expect a ton anytime soon. It's going to be a slow road for these guys. Next question, at Sam Jochum 4982, would you rather invest in the Pokemon 151 UPC box or the 151 Japanese booster box? Both seem to be similar in price. Now that's a tough question. So Like right now, the way Japanese is, it's kind of, you know, unstable. And no joke, before these last few years, Japanese cards were always cheaper. You know, they had a few grails and stuff like that, stuff we didn't get. But normally, I mean, it was always way cheaper, much cheaper option to open, and cards were cheaper. So I don't know. That's why I don't invest a ton in Japanese, but you never know. And I do have a few of these Japanese 151 booster boxes just because that Master Ball hunt, you know, people love that. Otherwise, if it didn't have the Master Ball, I don't think I would be investing in Japanese 151, honestly. I would be doing it in English because that's honestly what I collect. And you got to remember too, I mean, even at $100 a booster box, I mean, this booster box is supposed to be, I think, $40. So, you know, we're technically still overpaying a good amount, which I do think $100 for this box is a solid deal for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I slightly like the English a little more, even though, you know, there's a good amount printed, but I think English will always just kind of just be a lot more steady and stable than the Japanese market. So next question is from Kono Hamiya. What supplies do you use with your personal collection for protection? Which binders, sleeves, top loaders do you typically use? What do you use to protect your display pieces, graded cards? So super, super good question. My binders, I've tried a lot of binders and I like the Dex Protect. Not sponsored by them or anything. I tried, but they have a zip binder here that I just love. And people think, I don't need a zip binder. You need a zip binder. I had a flood once and the water was just pouring through. And I had two binders that were on my table. One was zipped, one was not. And I had multiple cards ruined in the binder that did not have the zipper. And the binder with the zipper, all my cards were perfect. So I definitely recommend, you know, the zipper ones when you can. And for sleeves, I use the Dragon Shield Clears. Now, I'm not a big fan of using like the perfect fit sleeves, or even, you know, like they have sleeves that like tuck into each other so it's completely sealed off. Not a big fan of those. You ruin your cards so much trying to get them in and out. It's honestly a hassle. So I like these Dragon Shields. I mean, these are sleeves you'd use to actually play the TCG. They're very heavy duty. When you have it in your hand, you got a nice, perfect, you know, sleeve. It's beautiful. It feels heavy duty. I mean, you could just throw it across the room and you wouldn't, you know, be super worried, I swear. They're super, super nice. But like I said, check for the curves. And you can flatten them. I have flattened a few out that I've gotten, but yeah, I'm a big fan of these. And I feel like a lot of people don't use these for binder sleeves, but I love them. Big, big fan. And I'm not sponsored by these guys either. So, all right, next question is from Market Scraper. When PSA 9s are the same price or lower than a raw alt art, does it make sense to buy the 9 instead of the raw card? Especially when raw cards are usually a PSA 9 or even A quality when buying off a TCG player. Now, if they're selling a raw card and it costs more than the PSA 9, you might want to take a look at that raw card. It could be really, really nice, like super, super good PSA 10 quality. But otherwise, if you're not collecting for a binder, then yeah, you could totally just buy the 9s. It's also a little safer too, because you can look it up and see if it's an authentic card and stuff like that. And getting a PSA card, you always have the option to crack the slab too. So you definitely have options. If they're definitely the same price or cheaper, the 9 is probably the safer option. Next question is from ngrimes14. See you at Card Party, bro. Question I have is, what should I be looking for picking up at Card Party 2? Looking to spend about 1 to 2K there. Now, that's what the one thing I love about card convention and stuff like that. You are seeing this stuff in person. So I think it's one of the best times to get raw cards because you can actually see it in person. And it's one of the best times to get sealed products because you can actually see it in person and make sure there's no tears or dents. And you can make sure it's authentic. So I'd like buying higher end products there instead of buying a bunch of little items. And I always leave with something, you know, maybe a little bit older sealed, a little bit older raw. Love doing that. But yeah, I mean, even just getting Evolving Skies booster boxes that you can see are mint in person, stuff like that. Super good. Cannot wait to meet you. Definitely come say what's up and we will go hunt for some stuff together. I think it's going to be a great time. Next question. One of my members, Jesse MTZ0299. How do you decide what to sell? I've been collecting for a while now and trying to decide what to keep as a collection and what to sell. Now, that's actually a super, super hard question. Now, you got to think of like nostalgia, stuff like that. Like, I'm super nostalgic. Did you pull any of these cards? You know, were any of these special to you? Stuff like that. Let's say you get rid of them all. Are you going to want any of these 5 years down the road? Especially what happens a ton is someone will sell a card for 50 bucks. 3 years down the road, it'll take off and be a $500 card, and they all of a sudden want that card again. So really think about that. I always like to narrow down my collections. It makes it a lot more realistic. Like I started off, I wanted every card ever created. Basically impossible to do. I have a lot of sets completed, especially vintage ones, but like for modern, the sets are so big. I only collect illustration rares of the Pokemon and the special illustration rares of the Pokemon. I don't really collect anything else for modern. I do like some of the more unique stuff sometimes. I like the metal promos that are real and like, you know, like the Van Gogh Pikachu, stuff like that. But yeah, for raw cards right now, I only collect illustration rares and special illustration rares for my collection. It just makes it easier and actually doable. So yeah, just think of your future collection and kind of what you're into now and like what you want to collect, and just try to think of, you know, what you're going to miss if you do end up selling. Hopefully I helped you out a little bit. That's a super tough question. Next is from Sparky Doom. What if I damage the thin plastic that covers my ETB booster box? Do you think I'll be able to sell it for the same price? Should I just open it? How would you proceed? Depends on the box. Like let's say it's Evolving Skies or something like that, or like something like a really, really good set. You could definitely keep it sealed. But if we're talking like a Lost Origin ETB, you might as well just crack that bad boy open. There's so many out there that not many people are going to want the one with the big tear in it. It also depends too if it's a tiny little tear, tiny little hole. Some people don't care, but most people are going to want a nice looking box. So yeah, if it's not already a super expensive box, then you might as well crack it, especially if there is a chase card worth good money in there. You never know what's in that box. Like if it's Lost Origin, you could pull that Giratina right now, and your $35 ETB is now a $500 raw card. Not saying that's probably going to happen, but you never know. So yeah, if it's just a little tear or something like that on a cheaper box, you might as well crack her open. I do it all the time. Next question is from Jess Collectibles, BO8UV. When setting up an account to sell on eBay, how do you generally go about pricing your items when you do have to include packaging, shipping, or any other costs? Now it's going to suck to hear, but honestly, the best way to do it to get the most sales, what I do is I do buy it now, and I'm the cheapest on eBay with free shipping. There's literally an option on eBay to click where it's just all free shipping, and it's clicked a lot. So I always like to do free shipping. So just remember that when you're buying your lots and doing that stuff like that, you know, when you check those prices, just try to be the cheapest on there, free shipping, you know, buy it now. You know, when you do an auction for like a cheaper card, I like to do it at just 99 cents, let it ride. Every once in a while, it'll sell for super, super cheap. But a lot of times you'll be shocked. It'll go over what it's worth in a buy it now because people just get into the auction. But yeah, it kind of sucks having to pay for the shipping. But I mean, for eBay, it's like 60 cents a card if you do the shipping through them. And then if it's, you know, let's say 4 to like 12 cards, something like that, it's like $1.10 maybe in shipping. And then anything $20 or over, it's like $4 in shipping for first class. So it does suck paying for shipping and paying for all your stuff. But if you get everything bulk, it's really, really cheap. Like I think my total cost to send out a single card is like 75 or 80 cents or something like that. So it is super, super cheap. And if you look on eBay, there's not really a ton of cards that people sell for 99 cents. You know, there's a little bit more premium on eBay compared to TCG Player because nobody puts pictures up. You know, you're putting good quality pictures up and stuff like that. Next question is from Josie1777. Not meant for investing, but how do you feel of Chinese alt arts? I like them. Chinese is really popping off right now, and the population is way bigger than Japan and stuff like that. So like my ranking is probably Japanese, Chinese, then Korean, I would say, for cards. Japanese obviously is probably the most popular, but right now everything's kind of going down in Japan, and Chinese right now is getting hot. So yeah, I have no problem. I've seen many Chinese alt arts in person. They are beautiful. I think they even pop a little more than the English. So yeah, especially if you can get it for a good deal. I don't mind them at all. The next one is from Piggy Spy. Do you think it's worth getting Japanese versions of some of the more popular overpriced cards since they're technically cheaper? Same question, just bundling these together. Yeah, totally. 100%, especially if you don't play the TCG at all, anything like that. It's totally worth it. It's all about the art. But if you're, you know, a little more like investing wise, then I would probably try to stick with English because like I said before, I think English is just a little more stable, stuff like that. But you never know. There's cards in Japanese that are worth way more than English right now. It's just crazy. But yeah, I totally like it, especially if you're just all about the art. Totally worth it. Next is from Asian Ray. What if you only want to collect one type of product? Booster boxes, ETBs, or singles? Well, it depends. If you're a little more of the fan and you like, you know, the cards and stuff like that, definitely go for singles. It is a blast. But if you're talking purely investment wise and you want to make money, booster boxes are always the best bet, safest, especially when you're buying it, you know, at the absolute low. That's when it's the safest. You know, buying boxes when they're $700, definitely a risk. But I totally feel confident, you know, in buying a booster box at $80, $90. You just don't know how long it's going to take to, you know, gain value. And with Scarlet and Violet being the most printed set ever, I do think it will take longer than all the previous eras, but I do think it will go up in the future. So yeah, it just kind of depends. And ETBs are in the middle. If you can't really afford booster boxes, ETBs will do okay. But again, you're not going to gain as much as booster boxes for sure. And you could make just a ton on singles. It just depends on when you buy it and what you buy. So hopefully I helped you out a little bit there. Last question is from Rylex1806. Do you know why a Fusion Strike Build and Battle display is $190 when it's 40 packs and a booster box is $240 for 36 packs? It's because booster box is king. That's why I put these two questions together. Booster box is always the best. I mean, it's always going to be the most value. Not really about pack value at all. I mean, you can still find a ton of products where Evolving Skies packs are $4 or $5, but the booster box is $700. So it's not really about the pack cost. It's about the actual box itself, that you're getting the sealed box with the most amount of packs in it. People just love it. So yeah, that was this week's What If Wednesday. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And one person's question is featured on the thumbnail itself. And if I did comment to you saying this might be in next week's video and I didn't use it, please drop that same comment again and I will get to it, I promise. But otherwise, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you want to watch my last video, Pokemon Market Monday, click the link right here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.